We call this April 13th meeting of the Mexico City Council to order.
Miller,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
May I have a motion to approve March 23rd regular session meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Miller,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Williams.
Abstain.
Okay, first order of business. Bill number 2020-19, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to execute a state block grant agreement with the Missouri Department of Transportation Commission to replace edge lighting on runway 1836. Mr. Slade?
Yes, Your Honor. We do receive, through the Missouri Department of Transportation, funds to assist at the airport. And to cover the project we're working on right now, we'll turn to Russell Lunch.
Good evening. Every year, as you guys are aware, we receive an allocation from MoDOT's Aviation Division from funds that the FAA passes down to small airports. After 5 years, if those funds aren't expended, then it goes back to the FAA, and we don't want that to happen. We want to utilize those dollars here. So this small amount is being allocated then to the edge lighting project, which this particular runway is a shorter runway. It's actually 50 feet wide and needs to be 60, so we're going to move the lights out 5 feet on either side of it to be able to, in the future, expand it out. It needs new lights anyway because they're always breaking and popping and getting hit by snow plows and whatnot. So this ordinance is to execute the state block grant agreement for the edge lighting. CM&T was approved by the council at the February 10th meeting to do the engineering services on this, and MoDOT's allocating the $22,500 from our federal entitlement funds, which I mentioned earlier. The city's portion would be 10%, which is $2,500. The staff recommends the council proceed with 2 readings.
Pleasure of the council.
I move for reading of bill number 2020-19.
Second.
Miller,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes. Bill 2020-19, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to execute a state block grant agreement with the Missouri Department of Transportation Commission to replace edge lighting on runway 1836. I move for second reading by title only.
Second.
Miller,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes. Bill number 2020-19, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to execute a state block grant agreement with the Missouri Department of Transportation Commission to replace edge lighting on runway 1836. I move for passage of Bill 2020-19.
Second.
Second.
Miller,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Okay, other business, staff report, independent audit services, 1-year extension. Mr. Slagle?
Yes, Your Honor. We have Williams Keepers as our current audit firm, and that we've had for the last 4 years. And with all of the things that we have going on and federal emergency management funds, everything else coming in, it's just not, we felt a good time to switch. So we're looking at them for an extension and to cover the report. What we're looking at, we'll turn to Roger Haynes.
First of all, that was an excellent summary that pretty much covers everything that I'm about to say. But for a little more detail, a staff report was presented to City Council to review a request for proposals relating to auditing services back in May of 2016. Staff recommended the services of Williams Keepers LLC firm to perform the annual city audit, major program audit under Single Audit Act A-133, and provide assistance in the preparation of the comprehensive annual financial report. Council did approve the recommendation for Williams Keepers to provide those services for fiscal years 2016 through 2019. Given the current unusual nature of additional tasks arising during the present fiscal year due to COVID-19, staff reached out to Williams Keepers LLC to consider a 1-year extension. The extension would include professional services in performing an independent audit for the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2020. Williams Keepers has extended an offer to complete the 2020 fiscal year-end audit under the same terms as 2019, with fees being held at $32,650 for the financial statement audit and $3,000 for a single audit should it be required. Given acceptance of the extension, the staff will plan to send out in calendar year 2021 a request for proposals to audit firms that provide governmental audit services covering fiscal years ending 2021 through 2025. Staff recommends to Council to accept Williams Keepers LLC's proposal for the auditing services extension covering this fiscal year ending September 30th, 2020. And I'd be glad to answer any questions.
Any questions?
I make a motion to accept the offer from Williams Keepers to extend for 1 year.
Second.
Miller?
Yes.
Nichols?
Yes.
Briggs?
Yes.
Shippers?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Okay, claims.
Move we pay the claims.
Second.
Miller?
Yes.
Nichols?
Yes.
Briggs?
Yes.
Shippers?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Okay, comments from the council. Ms. Briggs?
You always start with me. No, I'd like to say that I'm really glad to hear that we have no reported, at least tests for coronavirus in the county yet, but we all need to still keep doing what we've been doing, and I think people in the county, really, what I'm seeing, people are doing a pretty good job of it, so it's a serious matter.
Councilman Williams?
First of all, I'm just going to say a big thank you to public safety, the ambulance district, the hospital, the nurses. I mean, they're on the front lines of this stuff every day. But also, let's not forget all the people that have to be out there, the essential workers. Just a big thank you to all of them. But also, it's a time like this, I thought about, I really haven't thought about the situation with the hospital. I mean, it's going on. But in times like this, it makes me think that we really need to be working with them. I know we have a group, but I mean, in a time like this, be thankful we have a city that has a hospital. I mean, last I heard they have 80 beds that they can do this in. If God forbid if something happens here, you can be here in your town. You don't have to drive 45 minutes away, so I would just, I hope we continue to support trying to figure out something with them. So that's all I have.
Mr. Nichols? Councilman?
I have to say I picked a very good time to retire. Excellent timing. I do want to thank the hospital staff, the ambulance staff, public safety, Aldring County State Patrol. They're all doing their part in this. If a person is going to keep his 2 to 3 mile walk a day up, you're going to wear a lot of carpet now. So I guess spend my money on carpet this fall. It's up to you, Chris.
Well, you all have said everything. I mean, I have to go along with the fact that we need to thank all the people that are working hard to make this problem we have, pandemic, as good as it can be for us. And I'm sure glad that we have no confirmed cases in Aldring County at this time. As Mr. Nichols said, and I guess Mrs. Briggs and Mr. Williams, thanks to the public safety and the fire department, the ambulance district, the hospital, the nurses, public health, all the people that are working extra hard, and I hope they are not working too hard. I hope we don't have any cases, so they have to work really hard. But fine job. That's all.
Mr. Slagle?
Yes, kind of in that same vein, I guess I would say that as this goes on, we just ask for continued patience and understanding, because we are a ways from getting through this, and the longer it takes, the more impatient and the more we all get kind of cooped up, and we just got to remember, take a deep breath once in a while and work through it.
There's not really a lot more for me to say. Like I said, we're grateful for all the people on the front line, the essential workers, and just also a shout out to those in our community who are actually abiding by the recommendations and what the stay-at-home orders that's out there, because I know it can be a little difficult. We're used to being able to go and do things, but together we're doing this, and so continue it. I'm glad I'm living and listening to some of my friends and where they're at. I'm very grateful that I live in Mexico, Missouri, so. Okay.
Bruce, do you want to? Yes. Your Honor, we do have a comment that we do want to, from our Parks and Rec Director as well, regarding some planning issues that's going on.
Okay. This time, Mr. Shoemaker?
Thank you, Bruce. Just so you guys are aware of how things are going, as you know, the April 7th election got moved to June 2nd. So this has direct critical impacts on our contract with the pool, design build contractor. So just so you know, currently the construction document development timeline is frozen since we've had a 2-month delay in the election timetable. We're having an equal 2-month delay in contract development. This is voluntary with us and the contractor. Obviously, a pandemic wasn't covered in the contract. So we do have known costs for our current building plan development, where it is now, depending on what happens on June 2nd and where we are in the country. So the fallback contract position is not affected by this. If you'll recall, we had a primary and a fallback position depending on the election to make sure that we didn't overspend on development before the election happened. We had to enact this freeze. We are going to be coming back to you as that economic situation evolves and election results become available in June, and we'll have some decision-making to do at that time. We do have a possible grant for a portion of the project that we will try to move forward anyway, that grant has a 2-week, second week of June award date. So it is possible that I'll be seeing you guys in June about accepting a grant possibly. And we are in frequent contact with the contractor. In fact, we talked to him today. Our original construction timeline, we all agree, is still achievable if we have that positive result from the voters on June 2nd. This will impact it some, but we were far enough along when this came down that we feel like we can get contract documents done, design and building documents to the inspector and finished so that we can still meet our original timeline. And then there is the possibility that our pool open in the season obviously could be delayed, and I wanted to mention that to you real quick so it's not a surprise to you. I know Bruce has already mentioned it at the radio station. The Red Cross training is suspended right now. So even though we got an extension on our existing guards, we can't train the new guards. We need to fill all of our slots until the Red Cross training is available again. So it may be that that canceled training and the need for hiring certified staffing and completing in-house training being done before we can actually open the pool could put us in a situation where it may be virtually impossible to open depending on how late this goes. We're currently about 5 to 6 weeks behind on that critical process, and there's not much we can do. As I said, Red Cross has suspended training. Just so you know, the physical operation side, we can get up and running. We can do that in relatively short order. It's really this training and being able to have the certified staff in place that's going to cause a problem. Any questions, or everybody ready to get on with it?
No, thank you for the update.
Okay, thanks.
Any others? Have a motion to move to executive session?
I move we adjourn into executive session pursuant to revised statute of Missouri 610-021 litigation.
Second.
Miller,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.